So, welcome to round 2, CotA. On this one, I invalidated my first lap of qualifying, which meant I only had one lap after that. So I took it very easy and managed to only get P2 this time, which means that I'm starting on the outside. And outside is something I do not like on CotA, because on the first corner, because of how acute and it is and how the camber is, it's very difficult to get a good exit. But that's what we got, so we'll see how good of a start we get, if we need to get behind, kill him spindly, or if we can hang around the outside. So, just focusing on the start now, nothing in front, so it's all me. And I do get a decent start, which means that I will be alongside Killsim good at the first corner, which means that I need to stick to the outside. I am taking this very careful because I do not know how wide he will go, which means that I need to turn quite aggressively, go a little bit wide, and Carson managed to get on the inside. And he has a better run. My tires are still cold, so I'm sliding there, and I have to just keep in the room and let him pass. So now the challenge is to hang behind him and try to get a run on the back straight and get past him, going into the middle part of the lap. And up until now, it's looking good at least. I get a good exit from this, well, not good, but decent. And I am close enough behind him that I know that if I don't mess this corner up, I will get a draft. He brakes kind of early, so I do too. Lift off the brakes a little bit and make sure that I'm right behind him going into this straight. And at this point, like, I know, like, okay, it's long enough that I will get the draft, and hopefully I had the top speed to get alongside him. Which I do, and going to the break-ins is trying to spot the right place, because it's difficult to do when you're in the middle of the track. I brake a little bit early, which causes me to lift off the brake a little bit, but I do manage to get the inside. Carson has to get behind me. I just delay getting on the throttle enough that I get a good exit, and he won't get a run on me. And after that I'm in front of him. I know in this part it's really difficult to make a move, so I just make sure that I always get the inside line going into every single corner, which causes him to run a little bit wide on the last part of there, which builds a small gap between us. And now it is just trying to hunt down Killsim up front, who's built a small gap because of Carson and me fighting, and he had pace on this track, which we use later as well, but it's not gonna be just clear cut catching him. And the gap now is, when it updates on the leaderboard, something, I don't know, 1.5 seconds maybe, 1.2. And Belly, as we know, is really good on the straights, so now that I'm behind him, what I'm already trying to figure out, even though I'm over a second behind, is what parts of the track am I faster? Because it's not gonna be the straight. So what part of the track am I faster, where can I actually overtake him, instead of just catching up to him and then hoping to get past. Of course I can always hope for a mistake and get past that way, but it's always better to start scouting ahead, seeing if he brakes earlier somewhere, if he's particularly slow at a certain part. Here I already see that he's taking that corner a lot narrower. He turns it much sooner than I do, which means that it's going to be difficult to dive on the inside there, but it might mean that I can get a good enough exit into this back straight where I can actually use the top speed to get past him. Bell is good under acceleration, but top speed you can still catch them. Here I can also see that he's taking that very narrow. He's not using all of the track, so I can get good exit out of this corner, and maybe now that I see that he's really slow into these corners, maybe I can get alongside or on the inside or the outside and just hang around on this complex to get past him. Because I know if I get to be alongside with him up until this point, these fast corners are wide enough and I'm faster enough on them that I can get past if I'm alongside. So that's sort of my plan at this point. Get close enough, and then on the composite corners make him go wide and get past him. But luckily he makes a couple of mistakes and here runs over the curbs a lot. Takes his liver a little bit too literally and tries to take off. And that means that I get a good enough run to get past him into the first corner quite easily. And to be honest, after that, not much happens on the first race, so let's go check race 2 instead. So here we are at race 2. I'm not sure what happened in the beginning. I think I was distracted by something because I forgot to turn my car on, which confused me. And at this point, I was like, okay, now I got it on. Let's catch up. Short formation lap, so I need to get there really fast, and then I spin even before getting around the first corner on the formation lap, and now I'm like getting the notification to you're being teleported. So I'm just trying to catch up quickly and actually make the start instead of being disqualified or teleported to pits. I'm not sure what would happen, but I managed to barely make it and be in the green box. Grid is all weirdly laid out now, or I might be out of position, but just focusing on getting good start. I have a lot of room in front of me. Again on the outside, unfortunately. Reverse grid, starting second to last. Filippo opted out of the reverse grid, so that's why I'm second to last. So here, just seeing that there's a Kilsim on the inside again, so just give him room on the inside. Here we are going 3 wide with Kilsim and Carson, so I mean give room on both sides. Luckily, all of us are respectful and we make it through. Actually, everybody makes it through at this point, even though people are still going side by side. And I get a little wobbly there, not sure which way to go, with Carson and Urban fighting ahead. And here as well, Urban is offline the whole time, so I'm kind of like trying to take slightly different lines, not just in case he slows down so I don't crash into him. And just trying to get a good exit here, which I don't, but he gets even worse exit. And he opens the door for me, so I go past. And now I see Carson trying to make a move on Tondol up ahead. Both of them go wide, which is good for me, because that means that I have a chance to maybe get a slipstream here. I'm not too close, but I get a little bit of boost at least here. And knowing that they will be fighting going into the next corner, that's good for me, because I know I will get them up. At this point, it's just a matter of starting to plan ahead on who's going to be on the inside of each corner, and if the guy on the inside will be ahead going into the corner. If they are, I'm going to go and take the inside, just like this, and try to make a move at the same time. Don't manage to complete the move, but guys on the inside taps Tondol going into that corner. I tap Carson, as I didn't see his brake lights even go on at that point, and visibility being bad on the left side there. Little tap them, or the Carson at that point, who already had crashed in Tondol a little bit, but can't think of that anymore. Need to focus ahead. Gonna skip ahead a little bit because catching Tondol in half a lap. So now I managed to catch up to Tondol, going into the back straight here. So again, first thing to check, is the Lambo faster in a straight line? Doesn't look like it. I think I'm actually catching him a little bit, so that means with the slipstream I can overtake him on a straight. So now let's see how he handles corners, because that's the next thing. I actually catch him a lot here, so I make a little bit of a dummy move there, just to see how he reacts. Doesn't react much, so I know that he won't overreact. If I make a move, he doesn't try to chink or anything, at least at this point. So now just seeing if I am faster in these corners than him. Not much, like I'm driving a little bit slow just so I don't accidentally crash into him, but he's not being as slow as the Bentleys are in those corners, for example. So I know that going side by side in those corners would be difficult unless I have a clear advantage. So these corners as well, Lambo seems as fast or faster even, but he makes a mistake here, which opens the door for me on the inside. He doesn't go and defend it, so just go on the inside, make sure that I get the power on early, and that's an overtake done. I'm quite confident that I can defend at least in the first corner, and as long as I'm ahead going into SS, I will be able to stay ahead of him. And he actually braced kind of early going into those corners, or in the first corner, so that's that overtake down. Now gonna need to focus on Skunk ahead and his Bentley. We already know where Bentley is weaker in the last sector of the track, so I know that's kind of what I need to plan for. But I also see that Skunk is struggling on the SS actually, so I need to keep that in mind. It's like difficult to overtake there, but just don't crash into him. Here he makes a big mistake coming out of the corner, but there's no room to overtake there, so I just try to go on the outside here, got inside, but because the Bentley slows down so much, I don't see where I'm going at that point anymore, and I actually go over the little pyramid at the apex, which causes it so that like I have no chance of catching him on this straight. And that's going to be a team where the Bentley brakes a lot earlier and goes around corners a lot slower, which makes it difficult for me to follow him, as I'm not expecting the speed and then I'm not turning too much. But before the back straight you could already see that he's also taking the corner very narrow, turning in very early, so I know that I can get a good run on him as long as I take a wide line, and he has to defend on the inside and then gets a bad exit. Here as well, like I see him tapping brakes a couple of times, which is not something I would expect there, so I need to be careful in those corners behind him. And if I get on the outside of him, I can probably hang around and get past him. Here again, I slowed down too much, not knowing where the Bentley brakes, and got the corner too much, get a bad exit, so no chance on this straight again. So that's two overtaking opportunities wasted already due to braking too early. He brakes very late and goes deep there, has to slow down too much, so we're going side by side in the SS, just giving him a lot of room here, just so we don't crash. He cuts in there, so I had to lift, brake. He goes wide here, which causes me to avoid him as he comes back on track, and I go off track as well. I come back as I see that he's not on the racing line, and just stick on the inside as much as I can, just to give him the room on the outside to take his line, and focus on getting an exit here instead, and maybe making a move going into the next corner. So just surviving the SS and making a move somewhere else is the key there. Again here he takes it really narrow. I correct this time, not cutting the corner, and get a decent exit, and he had to delay getting on the throttle, which means that I get a really good slipstream. I start making a move. He actually pushes me off track here, but luckily there's concrete on the outside, so I can hang it around here. But not having any idea where to brake, I just decided to brake at the same time as he does, which causes me to go wide. But then in the next corner he decides not to turn in, so I just hang around on the inside and keep hanging around here because I know the Bentley is slow. Here I get pushed off the track a little bit as well, but I get enough traction that I'm still side by side going to these corners. And as I said earlier, I know that if I'm side by side here, I know I can win because the Bentley is slow in those corners. So I managed to get past him through those corners, and after this it's just the matter of catching Aaron ahead, who's over 9 seconds ahead at this point. But there is quite a few laps still to go, and I know that I'm faster than him. What ends up happening is that he spins out at one point, and I managed to overtake him that way. Apart from that, I think I would have caught him at the start of the last lap, but just by judging from the lap time difference, but end up being no fight there, so after he spins, that's a win for me. So let's go look at the last race of the day. So on to the last race of the day, which is a night race, starting second last again with reverse grid. It is a lot colder here, with like 11 degrees air and track temp, so it's the conditions are different, so you will see a lot of sliding around from everybody. But again, starting on the outside, which I don't like, so just concentrating on not turning in onto anybody on the inside and making sure that I get the inside going into the SS and hopefully not going side by side with anybody there. Nothing weird or strange from the start. A lot of people braking and not braking going into here, so just kind of seeing where the gap opens up, almost going 3 wide here, and going side by side with Skunk again here. He has the inside here, so I yield and just go single file instead, and everybody makes it through again, which is always great to see, because if there's contact going into SS, it's chaos usually. But I see a lot of people punching up here already, so just chilling out now, not making a move really. Apart from when Sladin makes a mistake going into straight like this, I'm gonna catch Tondul going into braking, so try to see if he leaves the door open. He does, I go for it. There's a huge collision up ahead, which also causes me to almost stop at the apex and then accelerate out of it. Once again, drag race with the penalty going on the straight, which is never great. The penalty pulls ahead, so I decide I'm gonna get a little bit of help of slipstream here and then see if I can outbrake him going into this corner. I do brake at my normal point, but I still hit Carson ahead, and at this point I'm telling Carson that I'm gonna let him pass. I try to keep him the inside. He goes to the outside instead and goes too hot into the corner, collects 2 other guys, and I tried to keep positions back at that point, but unfortunately that ended up being the cause for, well, one of the causes for another accident. So I think I actually ended up gaining a position there even after all of that, which was not great. So what basically happened is that I braked at my usual point, maybe 5-10 meters later than that. Carson, who was part of the incident caused by Skunk on the previous corner, had a bad exit, and he braked a little bit earlier than normal, as it was hard to spot the white line in the dark, and he slowed down more than he usually does, which I was not expecting. And since I had Skunk on the outside and just the corner on the inside, I had not much to go and didn't have enough time to read the situation to avoid it anymore. So my fault, but an unfortunate situation on lap 1 with the speed differences as well. I ended up getting a 5-second penalty for it, which becomes important towards the end of the race. I'm already thinking at this point, like, I'll probably get a penalty for that, so I need to keep that in mind when looking at any potential gaps opening. But anyway, I've got up to Skunk again. He goes very defensive in this corner, which opens up opportunity for me to get alongside him on the exit. And second lap in a row, second race in a row as well, a drag race with penalty. But this time I'm far alongside him that he doesn't manage to push me to the inside. I braked a little bit early this time just to make sure, and I'm like, oh, I braked way too early. Like, no, actually no, he braked way too late. I'm fine. And as he goes wide, that's an easy position for me. And knowing from previous race already that at this point I will be able to run away from him. He will hold up Aaron at least a little bit, so I can just focus on the front and get used to the night conditions. As you saw, I already made a mistake there already, trying to turn in too quickly, as a lot of the braking points and turning markers are a little bit more difficult to spot, plus it is colder and the track is not as grippy as well. Like, it's a fast track instead of optimum at this point, which all makes it a little bit different jumping from daytime only. But anyway, let's skip ahead a little bit to the point where I catch the 2 guys up front. So I managed to catch up with Urban here, who's been passed by Kilsim for the lead. So I haven't driven behind Urban or the Ferrari really much at this point, so I don't know where he brakes and how he brakes. I noticed that he brakes really early for the first corner, so that immediately in my mind, okay, this might be an opportunity to overtake later on. I struggle with the SS this track this time, probably because of the damage and the conditions. But anyway, Urban struggles more. He wiggles around, and I had to make a decision whether to brake and potentially spin myself or go for the gap. I decided to go for the gap. I'm fully alongside him, and he leaves me to room to go past. At this time, he knows the battle is lost, and he just needs to stick behind me and use me to maybe catch up to Kilsim, have us fight, and maybe get a position that way. And that almost ended up happening, actually. But again, we are behind Bentley. This time, Kilsim again. Already had this fight once, he made a mistake then. So I'm just hoping again to mostly pressure him enough that he makes a mistake, and then I can be close enough and at the right part of the track to capitalize on him making the mistake. Apart from that, again, this section, these complacent corners, is actually an overtake opportunity against the Bentley if I get alongside him before that. Same thing for these technically 3 right-handers that come up here. And I'm just kind of checking that, is that still the case? Can I still overtake here? He's actually seems to be driving a little bit faster to those corners now than on race 1, so I'm like, okay, maybe that's not the best opportunity, so let's focus on the start of sector 2 with the complex of very slow corners, but Bentley is definitely slower. Apart from that, I know that going into back straight, he defends hard in going in there, which compromises exit, so getting into a drag race is always an opportunity, especially because I know I can beat him under braking. But here we can see, compared to Skunk for example, he's doing the SS much better in the Bentley, so I know that I can push here and not worry too much about accidentally bumping him as he slows down somewhere I don't expect. Like he's going a little bit slower than me at this particular lap, but not slow enough that it would be a problem for my own driving. In some of the laps you will see he actually goes faster than me, but again, here he goes a little bit tighter than I do, so I try to just get a good exit. At this point I still know, like, nah, it's not gonna be close enough, no way I'm gonna catch the penalty, especially this far off. But I can still make him think going into this corner, as he actually does just defend air at this point. So that means that they're like, okay, let's try to get a good exit here and see if I can get stick my nose in at some point. He goes really defensive here, misses his braking point, goes wide, and at this point I'm like, okay, good that I was preparing to cut in into these corners to get alongside him. He just made it a lot easier on me than I expected, and I get past him. But unlike on race 1, it's not over yet, because after this I'm again not sure, damage or weather conditions or just my own skill issues, I struggle a little bit, especially with just traction. Every time I went on power it was moving around. I get a bad exit here, and suddenly I see a penalty right behind me, so I quickly make a defensive move when I realize that he might be going past me, and just try to take the inside here, make sure that I get a better exit than him, so I'm ahead of him the SS, because then I know that I can just keep him behind. But I don't try particularly well here, as I slide around everywhere, and you can see that he actually catches me up at this point, and I keep just sliding around, but luckily there's no way for the penalty to overtake here, so just at this point, like, okay, calm down, make sure that I get a good exit from this corner, because that's what matters. Not the best exit, but good enough to stay in front. But you'll see going into this corner, kills him, completely misses his braking point and just flies past. Luckily he avoided it well, and I noticed it in time, so that I didn't turn in. And then I just get a good run out of the corner and continue on watch. There's one more move after this, but then nothing comes out of it really. So at this point I need to build a gap, because I know that I might get a 5-second penalty, which I do actually, which is completely fair. But I don't manage to get the 5-second gap on kills him, but I managed to get him in open, so I crossed the line first. But with the penalty, kills him gets bumped up to P1. I finish second, open finishes third. And that's the Racing for America this time around. So next week in the Spa, we'll see what happens there.